at the past bills for comprehensive immigration reform, it dealt with a lot of these issues when it came to H-1B visas, agricultural visas, green cards, and dealing with the green card backlog. Should things change, should, for example, Yoder, who I'm really good friends with, say that he believes it would be a good idea to join them together, I certainly would be fine with it, provided that it actually means that HR 392 would pass, right? Because the last thing we want to do is to make it weaker or make it or weigh it down more. But it just depends on the politics of what's going on. Sometimes that is a compromise, and sometimes these compromises come in last minute. But you just can't predict it until you get to that point. But I see Kevin every day at the gym. Honestly, that's where a lot of the members of Congress talk to each other. So when I see him at the gym, I'll ask him if he's already thought about it. I'm sure he has, and he'll just tell me honestly whether it's a good idea or not. Again, like, I want to make sure we take care of our dreamers. That's what I dedicate myself to. We're gonna make sure that happens. But sometimes putting things together may not make the whole bill that much easier to pass.
Thank you. And then we have the last question from Prerna.
Thank you, Congressman, for giving this opportunity. I'm on H4EAD, so my question is on H4EAD. Although it is an executive decision, what can we do as a community to save H4EAD?
I want to make sure, and I didn't hear you properly. Which visa?
H4EAD.
So, executive decisions are are difficult to overturn, but they're not impossible. So, I believe there's already a lawsuit in play to question whether the executive decision is legal or not. So I think it's already been filed, correct? What's that? Oh, no, I know, but there's already a lawsuit filed against the executive decision. So one thing I don't know if any of the civic Indo organizations have been joined as I forgot what I'm not a lawyer. What's it called?
As immigration lawyers, they have joined as a third party.
Oh, so they joined as have they joined as a third party to contest the executive decision yet? Executive action? They have?
Yeah.
Oh, they have. Okay, great. So I was going to say, most importantly, make sure that Indo Association is involved as a third party in the lawsuit against executive action. So that's step one. There have been a lot of successes through the courts to at least delay this. Number two, executive actions can be delayed by congressional acts. Now, one of the things that we may want to explore is, should HB 392 not move, is talking to some of your members of Congress, and I would be certainly supportive of it, that would just say that we are going to stop this executive action for X amount of years, right? And if we do that legally I think we can do, number one, I know that's legal, we could definitely get that done, and I think we could get the votes for it, right? So it'd be easier for me to go, for example, to a Congressman Yoder or to a Congressman Schweiker and say, like, look, this is moving too fast, you're going to separate families, we don't actually know the full impact of this, why don't we just delay this for 2 years? And there's ways that we could delay it. For example, what we would do is we would just put it into one of our funding bills, and then the funding bill would basically say there shall be no funds used to change, no government funds shall be used to change the visa statuses of H-1B visa holders, green card holders. There's a lot of ways to do that. That is probably the best ways we could do that. But that requires some support from the Republican caucus. So I think I want to say that probably besides Yoder, there's a couple other strong Republican caucus members that we can work with that the Indo-American Association National is already talking to. And one of the things that they should talk to, I don't know too much, you can talk to them, is asking them for a delay of the executive action. And if you ask for Republicans for a delay of the executive action, you're more likely to get than a rejection. Because if you reject it, then they're going to say, well, you're rejecting Trump, and they can't do that because they're on the same party, right? But as a strategy, maybe you should ask them to delay it for a couple years, and that way, within those 2 years, we could work on the politics, whether it's getting the right people elected, or having enough time for basically this community to go talk to these members, right? Because if you've noticed, a lot of members of Congress do not know anything about this at all. Why? Because executive action was signed recently, this is happening so fast, so there needs to be time to educate them. And so get some breathing room, get some time, educate them, and then I think in the meantime, even if the politics change, then it's likely that we can even pass other bills that would be more helpful. So that it's a strategy, that's what I would say. Lawsuits, slow it down, because that's the other thing lawsuits are, they can slow it down, injunctions, everything else like that. And then two, work with the National Association, Indio Association to come up with an overall strategy about how to at least slow it down legislatively so we have more time to work on this in a more thorough manner.
We only had 4 questions, so we can have it as open, or are we going to do that?
We can have an open forum if somebody wants to ask a very good question. We do need to thank Ruben for being here. And one of the things that I want to say personally, that a lot of time when you have an election, you don't realize how important it is for us to be involved, and not only be involved, but also support the candidate that you like. It doesn't matter Republican, Democrat, it doesn't make any difference. But talk to your candidate, find out what are they supporting, is it in your favor or not, and then get involved with them so they can actually help. That's the only way we're going to win any of these things that we have concern about, by supporting the candidate that we are going to choose. So just simply, election time comes, please spend some time and look at who your candidates are. Talk to your friends, support the candidate even though you might not be able to vote for him, but give him $100. That will help a long way for him to win. Even in America, elections are won by money. It's not that you just can win just by the name. Trump was one of the rare example, but that's a different thing. So again, thank you, Ruben. And anybody wants to come and say hello to him personally, or you have any question, we are more than welcome to open for it.
Thank you for coming, and thank you, Congressman Ruben, for spending time with us and hearing our concern, and thank you, Subhashi, for helping us. Thank you.